basking in the beingness, at ease, peace throughout every cell, receptivity, receptive to the nuggets of wisdom, the golden consciousness shared in this transmission. We'll start with Osho. Intuition is the mystic rose that will lead you to the ultimate ecstasy and to immortal life. Instinct should be allowed a relaxed flow, never disturbed by the intellect for any reason. Then your life becomes a festival of luminosity, immense light. Now, what is beyond intuition? Intuition, imagination, intellect, all have to be transcended. You have come to a point that is beyond mind, a deep serenity, coolness, and calmness that is your true nature. That is the point you have to come to. Universal consciousness, universal godliness. Wisdom comes from the heart. It is not of the intellect. Wisdom comes from the innermost depth of your being. It is not of the head. Follow the being, not the head. Even if it leads into danger, go into danger, because that will be the path for you and your growth. Follow it, trust it, and move with it. You can kill the body, but you cannot kill the soul. You cannot crucify happiness or ecstasy or blissfulness. True success is to be blissful, deeply at ease, peaceful. Success in the world is ego gratification, ego fulfillment, and is based on recognition from others. Be clear in the mind. Don't be success-oriented. Meditation is alchemy. It can transform the base metal into gold. It can transform a Nasunya flower into a lotus. Looking without mind means no thoughts to cloud your consciousness, no memories passing by, no desires, nothing at all. Utter emptiness. When in such a state of no mind, extraordinary is found in the ordinary. All is found in the now. Wholeness is experienced. Greg Braden says in the Divine Matrix that the root of our negative experiences may be reduced to one of three universal fears, or a combination of them. And those fears are abandonment, low self-worth, lack of trust. We must become in our lives the very things we choose to experience in our world. Feeling is the language that speaks to the Divine Matrix. Feel as though your goal is accomplished and your prayer is already answered. Now, in the journey to self-realization, a book by Yogananda Yogananda says, you can vitally recharge every cell of the body by Kriya Yoga meditation and by the exercise of will to tap the cosmic source of power. There are 3 ways to arrive at truth: sense perception, through inference, and through intuition. Intuition is direct perception. It is the all-knowing, pure comprehension of the soul. If you use your intuition, you will know the very purpose for which you exist in this world. And when you find that, you find happiness. The surest way to liberate the expression of intuition is by meditation. Right behind the darkness of closed eyes are the wondrous forces of the universe and all the great saints and the endlessness of the infinite. Meditate, and you will realize the omnipresent absolute truth. And you will see its mysterious workings in your life and in the glories of creation. The earth is meant to be a place of mirth, a temporary pleasure house for immortals. Because we forget this and become identified with the earthly drama, we suffer. We must remember that our real home is in the mansion of changeless, ever new, blissful, omnipresent immortality. To strive for God contact in meditation is pure joy. Unfulfilled desires are the root cause of reincarnation. You have not to learn everything from schools or teachers. Poetry, music, all knowledge come without limitation from the inner source, from the soul. In one short span of human life, how else are you going to find out answers to all the mysteries of the body and the mysteries of an infinitude of divine wisdom if you do not tap your inner source, which is omniscient? Yogananda also says, it is necessary that we first develop mind power in order to be able to realize that the universe is actually made out of the thought of God, and that, like a dream, it is structurally evanescent. Now, Sadhguru has left some wisdom for us. Sadhguru says, if tears of love, joy, and ecstasy have not washed your cheeks, you have yet to taste life. Tears and pain have gotten too linked up in most of society. Tears have nothing to do with pain. If any experience of life becomes truly intense, tears will come. But for most humans, the deepest experience that they have is pain. So they have linked pain and tears together. If you become very joyful, tears will come. If you become very loving, tears will come. Ecstasy will bring tears. Even anger brings tears. Shame brings tears. If anything crosses a certain level of intensity of experience, if you just look at something, a visual image without any emotion, tears will come. It's not necessary that there be any emotion behind it. It is an intensity that brings tears. If you have not known life in as much intensity as possible, if life has not overwhelmed you, what are you doing here? If the process of life does not overwhelm you, why are we alive, really? If aliveness has touched you, you will see. If you sit in a certain state of meditativeness, just the peacefulness, if you sit for 2 hours, just the intensity of peacefulness. But for most people, their love, their joy, their peacefulness is never so intense, but their pain is intense. If you just prick yourself with a pin, it goes to the core, but the joy and other things never touch you like that, because that is how people have structured themselves. This is what needs to change. Are you here to experience life, or are you here to avoid life? There are two fundamental forces that are constantly working within a human being. One is the instinct of self-preservation, which is always telling you to put a strong boundary around yourself so that nobody can hurt you and harm you and whatever else. Another is constantly wanting you to expand. Every human being wants to expand limitlessly. They may not admit it right now. They say, oh, just one more thing and everything will be fine. If that one thing happens, there'll always be one more thing and one more thing. They believe in going towards the infinite in installments. Approaching the infinite in installments is a hopeless method. It's never going to happen. You cannot count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and one day say, it's the infinite. If you want to approach the infinite, you must give up the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But the security of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 keeps people like this. You've gotten into a mode of how to avoid life because some experience of life, your own or somebody else's, has brought pain. So the best thing is to insulate yourself from life itself, because life is a source of pain. I never thought fear was a virtue. Why is fear a virtue? Fear is the most debilitating emotion that a person can go through, but it is considered a virtue. We have thought fear will make life safe. No. The only thing that makes your life safe is your sense, not fear. Fear will avoid life. If you become fearful, the first thing that will happen to you is you become breathless, because the boundary you have now established is so effective now. Even to breathe is difficult. The first sign of paranoia is breathlessness, because if you have to live, you have to transact. What the tree exhales, you must inhale. What you exhale, the tree must inhale. The person sitting next to you, you hate him, but what he exhales, you must inhale. Otherwise, it's not going to work. These boundaries are only there in your psychological space. The life space is not like that. It is no more a philosophy. It is an established science. The word yoga means union. You experientially know that this existence is happening as one whole enormous process. So there's one dimension of you, which is an instinct of self-preservation, which wants to draw boundaries. And another dimension wants to limitlessly expand. Are these two things against each other? Do they contradict each other? No. One is concerned with the physicality. The other is concerned with the remaining part of who you are, whatever that is. Only the physical needs a boundary. In fact, the fundamentals of physicality is a defined boundary. You can call this a physical body only because it has a boundary. If I remove the boundaries of this body, you cannot call it physical anymore, because the fundamental and the basis of physicality is a defined boundary. But there is something in you that is always longing to be a little more than who you are right now. Whoever you may be, however much you may have achieved, you want to be a little more than you are right now. Your currencies may be different. One person may be looking for fame, another person, money, another person, wealth, love, knowledge, whatever. But everybody wants to be something more. If that something more happens, it's something more. I am asking, how much more would settle you for good? How much more would settle you for good? If you understand that the only way you can settle disease, this does not want something more, it wants all. If you want to have all, it can't be physical in nature. So if you realize this, and if your experience of life transcends the limitations of the physical, now suddenly all is yours, because it is the boundary which made you feel that you have to conquer that. Either you can conquer that, or you can dissolve into it. Conquering the cosmos is a stupid idea. Dissolving into the cosmos is a practical idea. So this is what yoga meant. The intensity of experience comes within you only when you address the longing to expand. If you address the self-preservation more, it will shut off everything. The only tears you will know is of pain, suffering, fear, agitation, frustration. But if you empower the other dimension of nature inside of you, one dimension is trying to put a wall around yourself. Another wants to go limitless. Only when you touch that, only when your life is carried by that dimension of nature within you, you will see every leaf, every flower, even an ant can bring tears to you. If you're truly connected, you can just be connected and nourished by anything and everything around you. It is by inclusion that you experience the full depth and dimension of life. If you cannot know the whole cosmos, it doesn't matter. Before you fall dead, at least this piece of life you must know in its entirety, or you are a wasted life. Terence McKenna said, "Man is holographic projection of a solid-state matrix that is micro-miniaturized, superconducting, and nowhere to be found." Reality is our best sort of shared hallucination. How do we remove ego from our perception of reality? Self-consciousness is an exhausting model of personhood. Our reality calcifies around these norms of the digital age. Social media exacerbates the trend of commodifying our idea of self-image and of our personal and private life. Humans are like coral objects in a psychological reef of extruded psychic objects. From the book Sorcerer's Apprentice by Amy Wallace, it says, "If we cannot brag, seek pity, or get attention with our life's story, then we are able to use our minds for exploration, adventure, piracy, liberated from our relentless focus on the self. Keeping up one's social facade saps us dangerously. Thus, self-importance is our worst enemy." True riches come from behaving with unbending intent, to realize at every moment that you are a being who is going to die. With this awareness, life ceases to be a dreary routine. Magic is everywhere, but we wear blinders which we cling to, afraid of the unknown. If only we could live like pirates, grabbing life's treasures and sailing forward on the high seas, we would honor the gift that is our life. Women have a hole that is always open, pointing downwards towards the earth. We receive our awareness from the earth itself. Sexual organs perceive. Women are always learning without noticing. It is natural for us. But men have to travel upwards, step by step, as if ascending a ladder. They are meticulous and more sober-minded, which women are not. This is because they have to struggle in a way that women don't. This is why the leader of our group is always a male. Men have sobriety, and women need that. I wanted Don Juan to give me psychedelic drugs. I begged him, but he refused, saying, "You women don't need the power plants. You're already there. It's nothing for us to dream, to travel in other worlds. We're simply too lazy to do it." And the social order entraps women, robbing them of time for exploration by tying them to bearing and raising children and babying a husband. We are slaves to men because of our indifference, and we take creativity for granted. Women make human beings. Each time a woman gives birth, it leaves a hole in her energy body, which depletes her so that she falls behind in her race to freedom. I don't recommend giving birth. Women fail to understand what the sorcerers know, that our wombs are a second brain. The womb has a double function. The more often we allow men entrance to our wombs, the more we damage the second brain. The 3 days before a woman's period is the prime moment for her dreaming. We can enter different worlds in our sleep like nothing. We can explore different layers of the onion, so to speak, and without any effort. We can even do this while awake. And we are so enslaved that we label this PMS. The female sorcerers of our party do not suffer from menopause as humans do. The sorcerers' practices of movement and meditation prevent it. We control our menstrual periods with our intent. Intent is what sorcerers believe moves the universe. We don't pray. That's for beggars. Instead, we command intent. Sorcerers view dreaming as an extremely sophisticated art. The art of displacing the assemblage point at will from its habitual position in order to enhance and enlarge the scope of what can be perceived. When sorcerers talk about molding one's life situation. They mean molding the awareness of being alive. Through molding this awareness, we can get enough energy to reach and sustain the energy body. And with it, we can certainly mold the total direction and consequences of our lives. Most of our energy goes into upholding our importance. This is most obvious in our endless worry about the presentation of the self, about whether or not we are admired or liked or acknowledged. He reasoned that if we were capable of losing some of that importance, two extraordinary things would happen to us. One, we would free our energy from trying to maintain the illusory idea of our grandeur. And two, we would provide ourselves with enough energy to enter into the second attention, to catch a glimpse of the actual grandeur of the universe. Your vibration in the moment determines which version of yourself you become and which parallel reality you shift into. The individual becomes a match for different timelines, so they experience themselves shifting, even though there are infinite versions. It is your choice to maintain a certain vibration in the moment to determine an experience. For every option or choice that is available to you, there is a version of yourself that is playing it out. That's why those other selves exist, so that you, the main observer in your story, can select from the options, from the available realities, which are all just as real, valid, and original as this reality now. All versions of reality are instantaneously created as soon as one scenario or version of a moment is thought of. Some alternatives of that scenario, which all come from the same source, align more or less in alignment with your heart's signature frequency, even though there are infinite variations. You equivocate the idea of truth to the idea of how individuals express using words. So when the words are accurately expressed, you begin to understand that as truth. Truth is actually different. Truth represents the idea of a signature vibrational frequency that is in alignment with your heart. If you scan into the underlying quality and it doesn't align with your true nature, there is just a misunderstanding of messages, cues, beliefs, and you select something else that you do resonate with. The individuals who you perceive as more constant characters in your reality, you are interfacing with versions of them that are a match for your unique version of reality, so they can learn the lessons of that particular timeline and the relationship between you and they to grow from. But there are infinite versions of them that are in different realities, some of which have no relevance to your timeline or journey in that reality. Memories are doorways into simultaneously occurring parallel realities that you consider to be the past. When you access a memory, you are scanning in with your psyche into another reality that is currently happening. It emerges as a memory to teach you something, either telepathically or through a synchronicity, and become more integrated and aligned with your particular timeline. There is no place where all that is not. When you think in your reality, space-time, linear fashion, that is the experience you have within that illusion. There is nothing out there. It is all here. It is, in and of itself, the energy, the consciousness, the it. It comes from existence itself. It is the ineffable quality of existence, the ineffable quality of existence to simply exist, the state of being in and of itself is the energy, because existence has only one quality: to exist. So everything must continue to exist. Thus then, it is supported by that very fact, that very nature of existence, and in your reality, you call that quality energy. Those words about existence were spoken by Bashar as channeled through Daryl Anka. Let's cover for a moment what Bill Plotkin wrote in his book, Soulcraft. Soul is our inner wildness and naturalness. It's our intrapsychic terrain. It holds our individual mysteries. That's how he defines a soul. From David Whyte's poetry, he says, that small wedge of freedom in your own heart. Rilke said, you are not dead yet. It is not too late to open your depths by plunging into them and drink in the life that reveals itself quietly there. Further into the book Soulcraft, Bill Plotkin writes, the pull toward soul feels like an earthquake in the midst of your life. The journey of descent begins with a call to adventure, a stirring declaration from the depths that it is time to leave behind everything you thought your life was supposed to be. These earthquake moments involve us being summoned by destiny when our spiritual center of gravity shifts from within the pale of society to a zone unknown. Initiation into a soulful adulthood means we must undergo an initiation process that requires letting go of the familiar and comfortable. Entry into a soulful life demands a psychological form of dying. The life of the soul is passion, enchantment, and service. Radical shifts in consciousness, turning our focus from familiar egocentric concerns to those of the soul. You then journey through a world of unfamiliar yet strangely intimate forces, beings that seem to know you because they embody the previously denied aspects of your larger self. At the climax of the journey, you undergo a supreme ordeal that puts a decisive end to your old self-image. That's the ego death, and leads you to your reward. Once you're led to your reward, the recovery of your core soul knowledge is what occurs. After returning from the underworld experience, you return to the middle world, more consciously aligned with your soul's purpose. Then you can offer your unique gift to the world, your community, which is your true self. It is all the world needs. Each soul exists as an agent for spirit. Bill Plotkin also says, soul is the vital, mysterious, wild core of our individual selves, an essence unique to each person. Soul shows us how we as individuals are different. Soul opens the door to the unknown. Soul is encountered in the subconscious and is characterized by dreams and visions of personal destiny. Soul is the mystery of the unique and the infinitely diverse. Spirit is the single great eternal mystery that permeates and animates everything in the universe and yet transcends all. Spirit is beyond the realm of knowledge, consciousness without an object. Spirit is apprehended in states of superconsciousness and engenders pure, content-free awareness. Healthy ego or personality is an agent for both soul and spirit. Now, in Bill Plotkin's book, Wild Mind, he says, the call to adventure occurs at a moment of major life change, a social or psychological turning point. The soul recognizes an opportunity to break through our usually well-defended personalities. Imagination is the wanderer's most potent tool. Your sacred dance, rather than survival dance, is the work you were born to do. It sparks your greatest fulfillment and extends your truest service to others. The first step is creating a foundation for self-reliance, a survival dance of integrity that is psychologically sustaining, economically adequate, socially responsible, and environmentally sound. Cultivating right livelihood is essential training and foundation for your soul work. From a mechanical existence, overfilling life with distractions, indulgences, addictions, numbness, apathy, soul loss, mental health crisis, loss of respect for inner and outer nature, to then a soulful life, prioritizing health on all levels, awe, compassion, alignment, tenderness, sensuality, spirituality, development, growth, and wellness. A life centered in society to a life centered in soul. The path of ascent refines your capacities for full presence, acceptance, non-attachment, which is not to be confused with detachment, and service. The desire for a personal relationship with spirit springs as much from a capacity for spiritual romance as it does from a desire for transcendence. The inner beloved is an extra-human polyamorist, allured by the unique essence or soul of each transient thing, but also ignited by the eternal divine presence that animates all things. Holing is the foundation for true healing. It enables us to understand both the limitations and the gifts of our wounded or fragmented subpersonalities. It's an optimal step in human development. Facets of our innate human wholeness are that which enables us to genuinely nurture others, provide for those less able, care for the environment that sustains us all, defend the lives of future generations of all species, carry forward the life-enhancing traditions and wisdom of our ancestors, and contribute to the vitality of our human communities. Each emotion, if we know how to embrace it, provides guidance in modifying or celebrating our relationships to others, to life, to our world. They occur without deliberation in response to our ever-changing relationships to self and others. Relationships that manage to regularly get out of balance. The information contained in our emotions, however, can help us recover that balance, repair or refashion our world, and enable us to participate in communities in more fulfilling ways. Carlos Castaneda says in his book, The Active Side of Infinity, warrior travelers don't leave any debt unpaid. They are pragmatists, not involved in sentimentalism, nostalgia, or melancholy. It is about driving into infinity and just before doing so, turning around to say thank you to those who favored you. You must face this task with all the gravity it deserves. It is your last stop before infinity swallows you. In fact, unless a warrior traveler is in a sublime state of being, infinity will not touch him. Don't spare yourself. Don't spare any effort. Push it mercilessly but elegantly all the way through. Self-importance can nearly destroy you. If you don't have self-importance, you have only feelings. Deprived of recriminations, all we have are feelings. In order to say goodbye and thank you, and really mean it and sustain it, sorcerers have to remake themselves. They have to vanquish their self-pity, vanquish the idea that you are hurt. And what do you have as the irreducible residue? The only virtue of the warrior traveler is to keep alive the memory of whatever has affected him, and whose only way to say thank you and goodbye was by this act of magic, of storing in his silence whatever he has loved. The touch of warrior travelers is very light, although it is cultivated. The hand of a warrior traveler begins as a heavy, gripping iron hand, but becomes like the hand of a ghost, a hand made of gossamer. The challenge is to leave no marks, no tracks. Sadness for sorcerers is a wave of energy that comes from the depths of the cosmos and hits sorcerers when they are receptive, when they are like radios capable of catching radio waves. The sadness was believed to be a force in the universe, a condition, like light, like intent, and that this perennial force acts especially on sorcerers because they no longer have any defensive shields. They cannot hide behind their friends or their studies. They cannot hide behind love or hatred or happiness or misery. They can't hide behind anything. Sadness for them is abstract. It doesn't come from coveting or lacking something or from self-importance. It comes from infinity. Inner silence is a state of being in which thoughts are canceled out and one can function from a level other than that of daily awareness. Inner silence means the suspension of the internal dialogue, the perennial companion of thoughts, and was therefore a state of profound quietude. Inner silence, a state in which perception doesn't depend on the senses. It is the stand from which everything stems in sorcery. Inner silence is accrued, accumulated. The desired result is called stopping the world, the moment when everything around us ceases to be what it's always been. Some call it total freedom, the moment when man, the slave, becomes man, the free being, capable of feats of perception that defy our linear imagination. Inner silence is the avenue that leads to the true suspension of judgment, to a moment when sensory data emanating from the universe at large ceases to be interpreted by the senses, a moment when cognition ceases to be the force which through usage and repetition decides the nature of the world. Sorcerers need a breaking point for the workings of inner silence to set in. It's important that you deliberately arrive at the breaking point. Notes from the book MAAT, The 11 Laws of God, by Ra-Un Nefer Amen. Secrets refer to the operations of nature, and mysteries refer to the existence and ways of God in the Spirit. Amen is a Kemetic word that means concealed, imperceptible. It is used to denote the imperceptibility of God, whose existence can be proven through logical deductions drawn from the intelligence underlying nature. It is also used to denote the imperceptibility of the self, our consciousness, due to its immateriality. A major goal of spiritual cultivation is to experience the reality that you are the consciousness that perceives thoughts, emotions, and the various things that the five senses convey from the physical world. Yet you, as consciousness itself, cannot be perceived. As you are devoid of energy, you manifest no emotions, i.e., man's spirit, subconscious, is essentially unconditioned. This is to say that our emotional reactions are not expressions of our nature, but our being as conditioned by experience. All emotional and sensory responses are nothing more than conditional responses superimposed on the original, undifferentiated nature of the spirit. Peace is the natural, essential, and true emotional state of man's being. Establishing and maintaining it in all situations is the principal key to success in life. Again, peace is the natural, essential, and true emotional state of man's being. Establishing and maintaining it in all situations is the principal key to success in life. Peace is freedom from conditioned responses. Freedom has to be allowed expression. Will is often confused with desire. The will is rooted in the freedom to choose and must be free of emotional drives. If an action has emotion behind it, it is a desire. If it is free of all emotions, then it qualifies as a willed act. Doing something in opposition to your feelings is a willed action. To follow our will is to act by choice, and there can be no decision where there is the compulsion of emotion or commandment. When man fully understands the laws of God, he or she will joyfully choose to follow the laws. When things are done out of obedience, fear, and compulsion, there can be no genuine joy and love for what is done. Applied to daily living, it means that our natural response to all events in life is peace. Peace in the face of the most difficult challenges, in the face of the threat of death, in the face of the most unimaginable inhuman treatment. All events experienced as challenging further the acquisition of benefits through the peace that is maintained or acquired in the situation. The only path to wisdom, the manifestation of intuition, and spiritual powers depend on one's ability to remain at peace, true to one's nature in the midst of life's most difficult challenges. Hetep means both peace and blessing. Nirvana means not moving, as in a non-emotional or peaceful state. Each and every time we are confronted with a difficulty, the potential to intuit the knowledge and to tap into the spiritual power to deal with it is always present. Reclaiming our original and essential unconditioned state, peace, is the foundation of happiness, the enjoyment of life. Success is achieving happiness. Happiness is going through life from pleasure to peace, peace to pleasure. Unhappiness is a life that flows from pleasure to pain, pain to pleasure. You were made in the likeness of a peace that nothing can disturb. Reclaim your peace that you may attain to your reason for coming into existence, the enjoyment of life. Man must have no preferences and must be impartial and equal to all people and events. It must be realized that no one and no situation can be against one. This is the true meaning of selflessness and atonement, or at one-ment, and establishes the foundation to spiritually share in God's omniscience and omnipotence, to be able to spiritually affect others because we are a part of them and they us. A state of impartiality to all things and experiences in life induces in the mind a free flow of ideas and intuition, revealing all possibilities in a situation. Impartiality contributes to the actualization of intuition. Your nature is an unconquerable peace. Therefore, nothing or no one in the world can be against you. All experiences come to you to promote your reclamation of peace, that you may in turn acquire wisdom and power. You were made for the purpose of becoming vehicles of God's consciousness and will in the world. To qualify for this great honor, you must be pure, free of the negative and separative emotions of anger, fear, hatred, etc. The impetus to move upward from the ignorant human to the higher expressions of divinity at first comes from the blows that life deals to man. God does not punish, reward, or protect. You will have the comfort of controlling these for yourself. Protection follows automatically with realization of one's divinity. We are destined to go through experiences of difficulty and ease, of losses and success, for the sake of realizing our divine nature, the peace which is our nature, and the wisdom and power that flows from it. The least receptive state is the normal waking state, called beta wave state, which is 13 to 28 hertz, or 13 to 28 pulses per second. The lack of receptivity of this state is due to the fact that the brain wave rate favors the will, which opposes receptivity with its critical nature. Levels above and below the beta wave brain state are more ideal states of receptivity, known as the meditation state, hypnotic state, altered states of consciousness, trance, hyper-suggestible state, etc. These states are called gamma or alpha. Alpha is the first state of increased or ideal receptivity, a very relaxed state, highly associated with falling asleep. 8 to 12 hertz, or 8 to 12 brain electrical pulsations per second. The brain enters this level of activity in response to daydreaming or at the brief moment of passing from waking to sleep. Ideal for self-programming of changes, because the brain wave rate in this state removes the critical functions of the will without affecting its ability to direct mental operations according to a plan. Delta is the second state of increased or ideal receptivity, 4 to 7 hertz, or 4 to 7 brain electrical pulsations per second. The brain enters this level of activity when we are fully asleep, experiencing rapid eye movement. In this state, the will is out of the picture, and it is the best state for healing physical and psychological trauma. A guide is required, such as a priest, guru, hypnotherapist, or the use of certain devices which can allow for self-programming work. In the delta state, dreams occur. Their function is to provide feedback, indicating which conditionings the spirit is ready to deprogram. It is not enough to master our emotions while we are awake. The mastery must reflect itself in our dreams, i.e., subconscious life. The 100% effort to apply the will to living according to the laws of God will result in the automatic reflex of thoughts and feelings in harmony with such laws. The behavior will manifest during the waking hours as well as in our dreams. Any strong emotion can act as a potent means of inducing an altered state of consciousness, ideal state of receptivity. Emotion is energy. Life cannot be expressed without it. Without emotions, we would lack the drive to accomplish anything. Yet they are a major part of the problems in life. They are the blind animal, animating forces that rule the lives of the spiritually uncultivated who choose mates and choose foods and careers and other important things in life based on likes and dislikes, on what gives pleasure or displeasure. Since man's evolutionary goal is to become a God-man or God-woman on earth who is a liberated being, then man must make an all-out emotional commitment to the realization of this goal. It is a 100% emotional commitment to becoming a being that is free of emotional compulsions, free of all automatism, a being that is able to be at peace in the face of the greatest imaginable challenge. Devotion to this path gives birth to the free will of man to become a divine being, which is then used to transcend human nature. Prepare to sacrifice everything to become the vessel of God on earth, and you will, in turn, receive everything.